What's up, you guys? So today I'm going to be doing something a little different again. I'm going to be walking you through my typical lower body day. So I usually do 2 lower body days a week. One is focused around a squat and the other one is focused around a deadlift. Both lower body workouts I squat and deadlift in. The priority just changes between the 2 workouts. The deadlift sometimes is a trap bar deadlift, or the squat can sometimes be a front squat, but either way I'm getting in that hip hinge movement as well as that squatting movement. The goal with this video is to, one, kind of show you guys what I would typically do in a lower body workout or in a workout, as well as maybe you guys can pick up some tips or some things that you can add into your own workouts to make them better and to make things feel better for yourself, or just get some ideas. Also, if you guys see things that I can use in my workouts, you see things I can improve, feel free to let me know. I'd love to know. I'm always looking to improve. I'm by no means perfect. So if you guys see some things, comment them below, mention them below, and I'll make sure to work on them. If there's other workouts you want to see, also comment those below. I'd love to do more of these things. I work out anyways, so recording them isn't that big of a deal. And sitting at my desk here and talking for a little bit is not too bad either. I don't mind it. So let's jump into this thing and see how it goes. First thing I'm doing here is something to warm up the core. Breathing and bracing, especially with heavy squats and deadlifts, is very important. So what I'm doing is an exercise called a dead bug. The intent here is to keep the lower and mid back pressed into the ground, resisting extension, breathing into our abs and our lower back as we extend our limbs, starting to coordinate our limbs while we're braced. This is a great exercise to warm up the core, as well as just develop that connection with those limbs while we're braced. Next thing here, we're going into a hip airplane. We're warming up that hip capsule, getting a good stretch on that outside of that glute, closing our body as if we're rolling a bowling ball or something, and then pushing through the ground with our foot to open our hips back towards the wall. You'll notice this knee is staying very stable. It is not rotating in. That foot is staying stable as we go through it. Switching to the other side, again, notice the knee. One thing to mention is this hand holding this post is very, very gently holding it. I'm keeping a good core brace as well as relying on my foot stability to maintain that position. That hand is just there for a little bit of an assistance. You can use a wall in front of you, anything like that, but that is not holding onto that post tightly. It's just for stability. So about 5 to 8 reps each side. And then now we're going to go into the workout with the sweet streetwear shirt, jersey, whatever you call it. Do you guys like that, or is it trash? I'm going to keep wearing it. So I'm setting up deficit deadlifts. Got a plate there, piece of wood on top, slapping on some 45-pound bumper plates, chalking up. Yeah, I like that. I mean, 1997, I don't know what happened that year, but I'm wearing the shirt, doing a little bit of warm-ups. I actually really like deficit deadlifts. They feel good to me. They really force me into using my leg drive. I really feel it. If I'm not, I feel it on my lower back. Okay, so this is jumping in. I believe this is my first working set or my top set. I structure my things top set followed off by back off sets. Yeah, I got a little extra weight around the midsection, so got to get that belt right. And yeah, you can see pressing through those legs, getting a good brace, driving to the top. These felt really, really good this day. Another thing to mention is the shoes I'm wearing here. I'm wearing barefoot shoes, which feel really good for deadlifting, or sock feet, or bare feet if your gym allows it. Feels really good. You can really feel that grounding through the ground, feel that force pushing through the ground. Pumping out, I believe it's 8 reps here, which really felt good. It seems I'm maintaining good tightness, not getting too tired. Yeah, nice and chalked up. Okay, so swapping out some plates. 2.5s, which I don't really like. And then I believe I had 3 back offsets here at, what does it look like? 315, 325, 35, 340, if I'm doing the math right. Yeah, so I had a few back offsets for 8 reps as well. Curious if we're going to watch these guys. Again, getting the belt right. I typically, with deficit deadlifts, actually, I'll use straps quite a bit. Today, I'm using a mixed grip. Probably just doing that for the video itself. Probably just didn't want to grab some straps. But typically for deficit deadlifts, because they're not my main deadlift movement, I'll use straps because I don't really care that much in terms of grip strength for this particular exercise. my regular competition style deadlift, then I'll go mixed grip, typically all the time. Now we're swapping in the knee sleeves. You'll notice one thing here too as well. I'm swapping these in before my squats, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm doing this now. I usually leave my shoes untied, and a lot of people ask, and it's probably not the best idea, especially walking out squats and things like that. But I just don't like touching shoelaces. It's a thing I just don't like doing. So lots of times I'll leave them untied until I need to tie them. Working with some weight on the bar. Ooh, nice little transition there. Thank you, Zach. And now we're into the, I believe this is a working set of 225, 35, 245 for 10 reps in a low bar squat. A low bar squat is the more of a powerlifting competition style squat, demands a little bit more of a hinge. These again felt really, really good. I'd actually gone snowboarding a couple days before this, and I was a little bit scared that my hips and stuff were going to feel a little bit weird, but this moved really good. Seemed to keep a good position, stay pretty balanced. Yeah, those felt really good. That was a good one. Just gonna roll back here and see if I can spot a couple things in this squat here. So a couple things I'm thinking of as I'm descending into that squat. One thing I'm doing right at the start here, see if we can catch one right here. I take a moment at the top of my squats. I've had past back injuries, so I don't mind. A lot of people will kind of rep out their squats, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I have to be very intentional, or I feel like I have to be very intentional to almost take a pause at the top, regain my air, regain my focus, really concentrate on getting a good core brace before I open my hips and sink into the next rep. Something that helps me sink into each rep and get decent depth for the most part is actually thinking about pulling myself down into the squat rather than just sinking into the squat. So I'm actually thinking about pulling down, maintaining tension throughout the squat, and then letting that explode on the way up. I'm hoping you can kind of see it here. So I'm pulling and then driving hard through those legs instead of just free falling. Yeah, and these felt really good. And again, they looked pretty solid. If you guys see something, just mention it. Getting into some Bulgarian split squats, everybody's favorite exercise. Yeah, these were just tough. I don't have a whole lot to say, just working through them. I think I got 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps in here, working pretty hard. I usually don't wear knee sleeves in this. I don't know what I was doing here. I just guess I left them on. They probably felt pretty good, but typically I don't actually wear knee sleeves. And a lot of times I'll actually wear wrist straps to hold those dumbbells, so I don't even need to think about that. A couple things to mention. I feel like I'm talking really fast in this video, but bear with me as we go through. I'm trying to pack it all in and not make this thing super long for you guys. One thing that I'm thinking of as I'm going through this again is foot stability. Because these are more or less kind of simulating a single leg squat, it's really handy to develop that stability in that leg that's going to cross over to your main squat movement, at least a little bit. At least for me, I feel like on the way down, I'm actually trying to think about emulating my squat a little bit. So I'm getting into a bit of a hinge position, and then I'm sinking into that squat deep, getting good stretch through the hamstring, and then driving through that quad. These blow up my quads like crazy. If you move the foot a little further away from you, you could probably hit a little bit more hamstring than what I'm doing here, but this position feels really, really good to me, as well as it highlights any imbalances between the two sides. So I really like Bulgarian split squats. I hate them, but I really like them. They help me out a ton. They've helped me grow my legs a lot. So we'll keep rolling here. I think I actually filmed both sets, so we might have to fight through the next, or both legs. Oh, no. Looks like we made it through both. So next thing I'm doing here, and you can see I grabbed the wrist wraps to kind of assist with some grip. Cranking them on, going into some RDLs, slid those knee sleeves down. I kind of look like a Clydesdale horse with those things. But yeah, too lazy to take them all the way off. So in the RDL, what I'm thinking of is pushing my hips back high into the wall behind me, almost to the ceiling, pushing hard through those hips, really feeling a stretch in those hamstrings, which one, you can see I'm like middle of the shin. Probably when I started doing RDLs after my back injury, I could probably make it to just below the kneecap. As my hamstrings have gotten stronger and I've gone through the biggest range of mobility I have access to, I can go way deeper than I ever could before, which I advise you, if you have hamstring tightness, or you're working on your hip hinge and you're trying to increase it, do RDLs. They will help, I believe, more than simply just stretching your hamstrings. Hamstrings seem to, if they're weak, seem to stay really tight and not really allow you to access much mobility, even if you're stretching a lot. That stretching seems to only be temporary. So I advise you, if you're wanting to increase your hamstring mobility, really work on strengthening those hamstrings in exercises like an RDL if you can. Driving my hips forward, kind of driving my hips and glutes into that bar. Cue I use is prison defense, squeezing the glutes hard into that bar. It works for guys better than it works for girls, but it works nonetheless. Here's a side angle. You can see pushing those hips back, keeping that bar nice and close to my midsection, or the middle of my foot is what I'm thinking of. Nice straight line up and down, and pushing my butt hard to the wall behind me, feeling a good stretch in the back of the hamstrings there. And then hips forward, hard into that bar each rep. I believe here I did 3 sets of 10 to 12 as well. Yeah, this whole workout was a lot of, probably most things were about 80%. So assistance exercises were all like 2 to 3 RIR, so leaving 2 to 3 reps in the tank for exercises. You can see there, I had to tie my shoes. I swapped it out because I'm doing calf raises. I don't want my shoes to slip off while I'm going through here. I don't have a specific calf raise machine, but what I do have is a calf raise block that I throw on my hack squat machine, and then I can do standing calf raises pretty effectively. You can see I don't have the biggest calves, but I am showing you guys I do train them, which is awesome. Yeah, you can't really tell. And here, I guess, here's a little flex in the mirror showing off the quads. Camera's not focusing. That's cool. In my 6th Street shirt. I'm not sure what this jersey's all about. I know I talked about it earlier, but it's got some wild stuff. It's got like a smiley face on it. I think it came from China. Came from somewhere in Asia. Stank really bad after this workout, but yeah, felt really good. It was light, and I don't particularly like wearing tank tops for my workout, my leg workouts, just because of, especially in squats, having the barbell on my shoulders doesn't feel the greatest. When I have a shirt, I can kind of gives that extra layer, for me at least. I know some people probably don't mind it. Probably isn't that big of a deal, but that's for me. Yeah, so that's the end of the workout. Kind of worked through it. I think it took me about an hour and 20 minutes. It was a pretty good workout. I'm sore here. I think it's 2.5 days after, which soreness isn't always an indicator of a good workout, but I think those RDLs really killed me. The depth on the squats felt good. Everything felt really good. I hope through this video, or through more videos like this, it can help you guys out, see, hey, what's he doing that I could add to my workouts, and maybe see some opportunity to improve your own workouts. My mentality, or my way of going into a lot of these workouts is beforehand, I have to kind of maybe take 10-15 minutes to just cool off, de-stress from the day. Running a business, putting out content like this, trying to manage all the things in life can sometimes get overwhelming. So I try to make sure I give myself like 10, 15, maybe even sometimes 20 minutes to kind of just settle down, de-stress for a second, breathe, so I can go into these with really good intent, especially for lower body, where I feel like I'm moving a decent amount of weight. The risk of injuries can sometimes be higher, as well as the workload is just higher. I feel like I need to be more focused. So for me personally, that 10 to 15 minutes, maybe it's watching a funny YouTube video, maybe it's just sitting, kind of doing something mindlessly for a little bit before I jump into the workout, helps me a ton. Maybe that's something you guys can add in if you feel like you're pretty stressed out. Another thing I do sometimes as well is a little bit of breathing exercises. So lay on the floor and just focus on some belly breathing, kind of get my mind separated from my daily stresses and kind of ready for a new physical stress, as well as sometimes a mental stress as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got some helpful tips. If you guys want to see more videos like this or something along this line, just comment below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.